Hi, my name is Dr. Ray Pastor, and today I'm going to talk to you about choosing a master's degree. Now, I'm going to focus on instructional design because that's my field, but this will apply to any master's degree that you are applying to. I'm a professor of instructional technology. I have a master's and doctorate in the field. I've worked at several different programs. So I'm going to tell you a lot of the things that I've learned because I've noticed a lot of differences in programs. So I'm going to talk to you about them. One, do your research. Not all programs are created the same. Um, some focus on various things in my field. Some are gonna focus more on corporate, some are gonna focus more on education, some are gonna be more of a mixture. It depends, but if you're in education and you're staying in education, you don't want to go to a program that only focuses on corporate. So you have to make sure that there's a mixture there. So do your research, compare the programs, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the things you should be doing. Two, who are the professors? Do you recognize their names? As in, are they out in the field? Have you heard of them before? Now you may not. It's a big field, and you may not have heard of them. But you know, at the very least, if your goal is to go into corporate, make sure your professors have actually worked in corporate so that they can help you get those jobs. If your plan is to be an instructional designer and you're going to go into the corporate world and none of the professors have ever worked in corporate, how do you think they're going to help you in your classes? Do you think they're going to be able to talk about their experience in corporate when they didn't have it? And the same thing goes for education and higher ed. So make sure there are professors in that program that have a background. I'm not saying all the professors, because like my program, we have a mixture of professors with different backgrounds so that you can get whatever you're looking for. So make sure there's at least one faculty there who has that background. Three, look at the professors' resumes and websites. And if that's not readily available, that's a problem. So look at their resumes and websites. Make sure that they have an actual degree in instructional technology. You don't want a professor teaching you who has a communications background and has no focus in instructional technology. That's not to say that a communications background can't have a focus in IT, but just make sure the professors, there's something there that validates them teaching in that program. Um, Make sure that they went to school at a good instructional technology program, that they have a master's or Ph.D. in the field. Are they involved in professional organizations in the field? Things like that. Four, are the professors publishing? Do they present at conferences? Do their topics that they're talking about interest you? Look at what they're doing. What are these professors doing? How well known are they becoming, or are they in the field? Make sure they have publications. Make sure they're presenting at conferences and they're out there, making a name for themselves and the program, because that helps you as a student when you graduate, that your professors are out there and known. My next point, are the professors full-time or adjunct? If a program is made up of entirely adjunct professors, that's an indication that these people aren't dedicating their time to the class. Why? Because usually an adjunct professor means this person has a full-time job somewhere else. That full-time job is number one. The adjunct course they're teaching is number two. You want to go to a program that mostly has full-time faculty. A few adjuncts here and there is completely normal, and that's going to happen everywhere, and that's not all. That's a good thing. Um, but you want to make sure that the program's mostly composed of full-time faculty and that you're going to have access to full-time people. All right. What does the program look like? Do they have a comprehensive website? Do they have a Facebook page, Litter, LinkedIn, that kind of stuff? Not that these are vital, but they show that the program is just keeping up with trends. We're instructional technology. You should have a Facebook group. You should have a LinkedIn page. Um, and go to that LinkedIn page, go to that Facebook page and see, is this a page where do they have like an alumni page where their alumni are meeting? Like my program, we have a Facebook page with tons and tons of alumni. So a new student can post on there like, hey, I'm a new student, I'm looking for an internship. And they'll get responses from people, alumni in our program out there working immediately. So make sure there's some kind of alumni connection. Um, where do the students who graduate from the program end up? What kind of jobs do they get? Can you find this out? You should be able to find this out from their website. They should be able to tell you what kind of companies, but ask the professor, send them an email and say, where do the students work? What kind of jobs do they get? What kind of reputation does the program have? You might not be able to find this, but ask yourself, is it a respected university? What is the university reputation in general? because that can tell you a lot about a program. Well, kind of. It can tell you, it can give you a good indication of what it's like. And you should be able to get that kind of stuff from the website, from the professors' websites. If you're not finding a lot of information about their program, about their school, about their professors, that's a really bad indication. And those are big red flags. If you can't figure out who the faculty are in that program, you have some issues. And that goes on to my next things, my next 2 points. One, talk to students in the program. Students' advice will differ from professors, so please email the head of the program and say, hey, I'd like to talk to a student or two. That's an awesome idea. Those students will offer insight into things that the faculty won't. And again, if you don't have access to that, that's a red flag. And that goes into my next thing. Before you apply to any program ever, please meet with a faculty member in that program. Not an advisor at the school, not someone else at the school, an actual faculty member that teaches in that program. If you cannot meet with them, that is a red flag. That is a do not apply. You have to meet with a faculty member. Ask them questions. See what they have to say. Get a feel for who they are, how that person responds to you. Does it take a day for that person to respond to you, or do you just never hear back from them? Can they set up a meeting time with you right away? Are they available? That speaks volumes as to how available that person and the faculty there are going to be, available to you once you actually are in the program. Because if you can't schedule a meeting with a professor when you're a potential student, why do you think you're going to get one as a student? All right, and finally, my last thing. Make sure that the program includes client experiences. In instructional design especially, we're training you to work. Whether that's in education, higher ed, government, corporate, healthcare, whatever it is, wherever you're going, we're training you to be an instructional designer. If you don't work with clients or have an internship experience, I don't understand how you're going to be able to go out there and just start working. All the jobs want you to have some experience. In my program, we force you have to work with clients in multiple classes. Then you have an internship and a client experience on top of that. You're going to leave our program with at least 2 to 3 potential internships. So I'm not saying that you have to have 2 or 3 internships, but you need client experience. If you're not working with a client, you're missing out on making the connection. One of the big things I strive for in my program, and we really go for, is making sure that the students can actually take all their classes and apply them in the real world settings. And that's one of the hardest things to do in our field. We don't want you to go out there and feel like a lost puppy at your first job. And we don't want your client to see that, because that reflects on us. And all of a sudden we have a bad reputation. So we make sure before you leave, you can do that. Make sure the program does that, please. Thank you.